Welcome, everyone, to the deep dive. Just think about the last thing you bought online. You probably searched for it, maybe you clicked on an ad or, saw it in your social feed. But what if that whole model, the way we find and buy things, is about to change completely? We're tracking a huge shift here, something that could really signal the end of e-commerce as we know it.
That's exactly right. That's our mission for this deep dive. We're looking at Google's Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP. And this is not just some minor technical update. It's a massive ideological shift. We're moving from person seeks goods to goods seek person, and now into this whole new era. The industry is calling it the AI intent transaction.
That phrase right there, AI intent transaction, that's the key. That's what we're really digging into. If you think about it, commerce has had these distinct stages. Stage one was search commerce. That's your Amazon, your Taobao, where you have to go looking for the product.
And then came stage two, which was recommendation commerce.
Yeah.
That's the world of TikTok, where the algorithm is king. The product finds you through, entertainment, live streams. It works, but it needs you to keep scrolling.
Right. And UCP is the framework for what comes next. Stage three, smart commerce. This is a totally new game. It's dialogic, it's transactional. The moment of purchase moves from a website or an app right into a chat box with an AI.
And it's about so much more than just a faster checkout. It's a direct challenge to the big players who dominate online retail right now.
Okay, let's unpack the protocol itself. When did Google even announce this? It feels like it came out of nowhere.
The timing was really interesting. They released it on January 11th at the National Retail Federation's big annual expo in New York. And they defined UCP as an AI-driven universal e-commerce protocol that's, and this is the key word, decentralized.
Decentralized. I mean, my mind immediately goes to blockchain and crypto, but that's not what they mean here, is it? Our sources say that in this context, it has a very specific commercial meaning. It means anti-Amazon.
Exactly. It's Google's big play to dismantle the walled garden, that closed system where one single company controls everything, from your search to the checkout to the delivery.
So to challenge that, they had to build a real alternative, a complete one.
A complete one. UCP is incredibly comprehensive. You could think of it as the ultimate checklist for e-commerce. It's a universal set of rules for how any AI agent can and should transact with any online seller.
So what's actually on that checklist? It must be pretty detailed.
Oh, it covers everything. It defines all the modules a merchant needs to talk to an AI. Things like automatic discovery, so the AI instantly knows what a website offers. And then all the basics. Cart functionality, pricing, checking inventory, payment authorization.
And it goes beyond just the buy button, right?
Way beyond. It defines the entire post-purchase process, order management, tracking shipments, returns, after-sales service. It even covers things like user management and anti-fraud systems. It's the whole package, designed to work for a tiny independent shop just as well as it does for a giant like Walmart.
And on the technical side, it's built for AIs to talk to other AIs.
Yes, it fully supports agent-to-agent, or A2A, communication, which is crucial. This lets something like Gemini talk directly to a store's inventory system, but it also supports traditional OPIs, so it's flexible.
Okay, but here's the contradiction that I see. Google is pushing this open, decentralized standard to fight Amazon's closed system. But Google is the one writing the standard. How open can it really be?
That is the classic Google playbook, isn't it? On the surface, it looks completely open.
Yeah.
All the documents, it's right there on GitHub with an Apache 2.0 open source license. Any developer can go look at it right now.
But there's a catch. There's always a catch. The sources compare it to Google mobile services on Android. What does that mean for people who aren't developers?
It means the base layer, the code itself, is free for anyone to use. But, and this is the big but, if you want to plug into the real value, the fire hose of customer traffic coming from Google Search or the Gemini app, you have to be certified by Google. You have to pass their quality check and be admitted into the program.
Ah, I see. So anyone can build with the Legos, but only Google-approved creations get to be in the main toy store. They control access to the customers. So it's open source, but with Google as the gatekeeper.
Precisely. They're using openness to build a massive rival ecosystem to Amazon, fast. But they keep tight control over quality and, more importantly, over the flow of traffic at the very top.
Which brings us to trust. You can't have an AI buying things for you if you don't trust the system. How does UCP solve for security and privacy?
They have two really clever features here. The first one is called tokenized payment. The AI agent is basically blindfolded when it comes to your financial data. It never, ever sees your actual credit card number.
So how does the payment go through?
Well, the payment processors like PayPal or Visa, they create a secure one-time use token. The AI just uses that token for validation. It's like giving your AI a secure voucher to use instead of your actual wallet.
Okay, that handles the financial risk. But what about the privacy of, well, your thoughts?
Yeah.
The conversation itself.
That's a second and I think more radical feature, context isolation. This means that the conversation you have with the AI, the context, which could be deeply personal, is completely hidden from the merchant who fills the order.
The source material has a very memorable example for this. Let's walk through it.
It's a striking one. So imagine a woman is chatting with her AI assistant. Maybe she's talking about a legitimate problem, like needing to protect some antique clothing from pests. Or the conversation could be about something much more serious, a difficult domestic issue, what the source called a 3-inch nail situation.
Two very different, very private conversations. But in both cases, the AI understands the user's intent is to find a solution, and it won't recommend purchasing a tiny amount of arsenic.
Yes.
And the source adds this really important historical context that arsenic was actually used for things like seed coating or insect control in clothing in very small controlled amounts.
Right. So the AI processes this complex, sensitive intent and facilitates the purchase. But here's the key part for context isolation. The merchant sees none of that. They only get the bare bones order details. Someone bought arsenic, here's when, and here's the shipping address. They have zero idea why. The AI knows your needs, but the seller just sees a shopping list.
That is a fundamental shift in the power dynamic, and it has huge commercial implications. This is probably the biggest reason for retailers to get on board.
It absolutely is. Think about it. In the past, platforms like Amazon would hold onto user data, your address, your phone number, and keep it from the third-party sellers on their site. They said it was for your privacy, but it was also a business move.
Because it meant the original seller couldn't contact you for a repeat purchase if you needed more ink for that printer you bought. Amazon would be the one selling you ads for ink, taking a cut of that second sale.
It's exactly. With UCP, that essential data, like the shipping address, goes back to the actual seller. This lets them provide real after-sales service. Maybe remind you when it's time to buy that toner. They get to own that customer relationship again. The source is pretty blunt about it. Privacy clauses often hide commercial interest. UCP brings that out into the open.
So if you're a retailer, this is your chance to break Amazon's hold on your customers, which explains why so many big names are signing up. Who is in the club?
The list of joint initiators is telling. It's a lot of companies that rely heavily on Google search traffic. You've got Shopify listed first, then Etsy. And retail giants like Target and Walmart. They all want a path to AI transactions that doesn't go through Amazon.
And then there are the ecosystem partners, the ones providing the plumbing.
Right. Best Buy, Macy's, Home Depot, and crucially, all the major payment platforms are in. ADM, PayPal, Amex, MasterCard, Visa, Stripe, you name it. And it's even global. And international, which is part of Alibaba, is on board to enable Alipay payments.
The payment companies must love this. It's a whole new fire hose of transactions for them.
A massive one. They get fees, but they also get the interest they can generate by floating that money during the payment process. It's a huge opportunity.
Okay, so we know who's in, but this is a fight. Who is on the other side? Who's refusing to join?
Well, no surprise, Amazon explicitly refused. They are not playing this game. Instead, they launched their own internal AI shopping assistant called UFUS to keep their system a closed loop. Amazon's strategy seems to be to beat UCP, what the source calls a makeshift team, with a superior, tightly integrated user experience. They're betting on quality over openness.
And what about the other big AI player, OpenAI? They're not just watching from the sidelines.
Not at all. OpenAI launched their own competing standard, the Agentic Commerce Protocol, or ACP. It's a bit lighter weight, more tool-based, and they partnered up with Stripe. And what's really fascinating is that companies like Shopify and Etsy, they've joined both UCP and ACP. They're hedging their bets.
Smart move. And then you have the disruptors who are trying to skip the protocol war entirely.
Right. Like Perplexity. Yeah, they went straight for what they call the super entry point. They just built a one-click shopping feature directly into their search and chat interface.
How did Amazon react to that?
Ferociously. They saw it as a direct threat. Amazon sued Perplexity for illegally scraping their data and immediately put up a data blockade to stop them. It shows just how aggressively they're willing to fight to protect their turf.
So let's pull back for a second. Why is all of this happening right now? What's the big driver?
It's a massive shift in user attention. People are spending less time just, endlessly scrolling social media feeds and more time having these deep engaged conversations with AI assistants like Gemini and ChatGPT. And these AI companies have to figure out how to monetize that time beyond just a $20 a month subscription.
And the way to do that is through intent discovery. The AI isn't just a search engine anymore. It understands what you're really trying to achieve, and then it can orchestrate a transaction to solve that problem for you.
This is where it gets really powerful. The source used a fantastic analogy, the Manchu Han feast. Imagine a user just tells the AI, I want to cook this incredibly complex multi-course feast for a dinner party. The AI agent takes that one high-level intent and just decomposes it into dozens of smaller, actionable tasks.
So it's not just giving you a recipe, it's
Right.
buying everything for you.
Everything. It automatically buys all the specialty ingredients from different stores. It orders the right cookbooks. It finds the specialized knife you'll need.
Wow.
And it arranges all the deliveries. The user never has to open a single app or do a single search. The intent is stated, and the AI executes.
The business upside there is incredible. Conversion rates must be through the roof. And the whole nature of competition changes. It's not about being number one on a search page anymore.
Exactly. The new battlefield is optimizing for AI intent matching. It's about making sure your product is the one the AI picks when it's fulfilling one of these complex user goals.
And for Google, the success of UCP really depends on them controlling those entry points, right? The Google Search AI mode, the Gemini app, any future integrations, like if they power Siri on the iPhone, that's the lifeblood.
That is the whole game. The uninterrupted flow of user intent is what makes the protocol valuable.
So bringing this all together, what does this mean for everyone listening, for businesses, for consumers?
Well, the biggest takeaway is that this shift to smart commerce, driven by AI dialogue, isn't some far-off future. It's happening now.
So for a business owner, the advice from the sources is pretty clear. First, get on board, integrate immediately, don't turn down new sources of traffic. And second, start optimizing. Figure out how to make your products the AI's preferred choice.
Yeah. Let's be realistic about that optimization. The source acknowledges that it probably won't just be about having the best data. There will likely be a path to just pay Google to increase your matching success rate. The pay-to-play model always finds a way.
And for any developers listening, this really changes how you should think about building apps. Transaction capabilities need to be a core feature now. If you build a travel app, it shouldn't just plan a trip. It should be able to seamlessly buy the museum tickets, the local specialty foods, the travel insurance. That's what makes an app into a true agent.
And that leads to a final provocative thought for you to chew on. This whole revolution might feel almost invisible. It will be non-intrusive. But if these AI agents get really good at this, better and more efficient than we are at fulfilling our own goals, like that Manchu Han Feast example, what does it mean for our own agency? What happens when we completely outsource our purchase decisions to an AI that is demonstrably better at it than we are? You just state the goal, and the AI handles the rest.
That is a powerful place to leave it. A lot to think about. Before we wrap up, if you are looking for ways to track the bigger market shifts happening during all this technological change, we'd recommend you search for and download the iOS app Buffett Indicator from the Apple App Store. It's a great tool for daily market sentiment.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want to access even more of our in-depth analysis, please feel free to join our Deep Value Club membership. You can also subscribe to us on the Apple and Spotify podcasts channel. Deep Value